This tutorial is on breaking the rules separately in different layouts. In the top right corner of the Properties panel, there's this Set Local Properties Locally or Globally switch, and this makes it possible to make some changes in just the score, other changes in just the part, and other changes in both layouts. Here's an example. In this piece I have a soprano sax, which is a transposing instrument. By the way, transposed versus concert pitch is a switch in layout options, but it's duplicated on the edit menu. I'm looking at this score in concert pitch. Let me show the part in split view. So this is the same music, but in the transposed part, and this is the score. If I have the switch set to locally and I grab this text, I can drag it in the score and it won't move in the part. But in the score, it's set a local property, which is this Y offset. Now, if I change my mind and decide I want to move it in both places at once, I can set the switch to global and drag the text again. If I undo and redo, you should see that local properties show in regular text in the Properties panel, and global properties show slightly bolder. There are also these useful filters to show which properties are set locally and which ones are set globally. The other thing is that if you set a bunch of properties locally and you want to roll them out to the other layouts, you can grab the objects on screen and go Edit, Propagate Properties. There are two things to watch out for. The properties that show in write mode don't include the offsets for where you've manually moved something, and Propagate Properties can only transfer properties across that it can see, so you need to be careful which mode you're in. The flip side to that is that if different layouts are laid out differently, then the positioning properties, the offsets, won't necessarily look right in the different layouts. For instance, and this is not a great example as really I should be changing this in engraving options, let's say I don't like these accents within the staff, so I'm going to drag them down in the score. Now remember, this is a transposing instrument, so the notes in the two layouts are different, which means the default positions of these accents are different because they're a set distance from the notes. So in this case, you'd want to do this kind of thing locally in the score, and then locally again in the part. My rule of thumb is that if I'm working in write mode, 99% of the time I have this switch set to globally, and if I'm working in engrave mode, the vast majority of the time I have this switch set to locally.